Welcome to this explainer. I really hope you survived whatever Mother's Day brunch you got dragged to this weekend. Because let me tell you, while you were busy eating Eggs Benedict, the markets were quietly brewing up something absolutely massive. We are talking about a literal make-or-break week for Bitcoin. The paradox to payoff, navigating a huge week for crypto. Let's just dive right in.
So we've got this massive paradox on our hands right now. Geopolitical turmoil is rising, so why on earth is crypto completely green? If you've been glancing at the news lately, you know there's a ton of macro anxiety out there. I mean, intense turmoil, uncertain deals, global tension, the whole shebang. By all traditional logic, the market should literally be shaking in their boots right now. But when you look at the crypto heat map, it's quietly booming. Almost every single bubble, every sector is just flashing green. Bitcoin's pushing higher, crossing key thresholds, and basically dragging the rest of the market up with it. It's a totally striking irony.
We're looking at a super stark contrast here. On one side, we have these major macro fears. We're talking massive corporate deals getting rejected and the heavy geopolitical weight of the upcoming summit between President Trump and President Xi. Is it going to go well? Will it stall out? Usually, this kind of stuff sends traditional investors running for the hills looking for safe havens. But then, look at the crypto reality. Everything is green. Crypto traders are looking at all this chaos and deciding, nope, we aren't going to sit on the sidelines. And what's really absolutely crucial here is that while Wall Street sleeps, or, is closed for the weekend, overseas markets, specifically Asian markets, are actively loading up. They are setting this blistering pace before the US even wakes up.
Section 1, the CPI threat. Economic hurdles this week.
Okay, so we know the crypto markets are fighting through the geopolitical noise, but hey, we aren't entirely out of the woods just yet. Because while the momentum is looking great and green, there are some specific economic hurdles that could easily disrupt this rally. Bitcoin's immediate trajectory basically hinges completely on them. Tomorrow, we get the existing home sales numbers. Now, usually this isn't a massive deal unless the forecast is wildly off the mark. But no, the true hurdle to watch out for, like the absolute boss battle of the week, is inflation. All eyes, and I mean every single institutional and retail eye, are heavily focused on the looming CPI inflation data. Up until now, recent numbers have largely been in line with expectations, right? But this upcoming CPI print, this is the one that could truly rattle the cage.
And this illustrates exactly why the market is holding its collective breath. The previous CPI reading was sitting at 3.3%, but the forecast is jumping all the way up to 3.6%. That is a really concerning, ominous spike. So what's driving this? Well, it's highly likely that rising oil prices are the main culprit pushing this number higher. If we actually come in at 3.6% or, heaven forbid, even higher than that, it is a massive red flag. It is literally the one macro threat this week that could entirely derail that beautiful green heat map we were just talking about. Section 2. Quiet movers and market reality. The ground game.
Let's forget those macro fears for just a second, because beneath the surface, the Fear and Greed Index sits exactly at 48. We are squarely in neutral territory right now. For a really long time, the market has been hovering in fear, just reacting to every single terrifying headline. But now, the panic is kind of subsided. Overall market cap and volume are actually ticking up. And when the market stops being terrified, it starts looking for opportunities. And that is exactly what's happening right under our noses.
Because while the mainstream is completely distracted by geopolitical summits and inflation anxiety, there are massive hidden rallies happening. We are seeing Layer 1s and DeFi infrastructure tokens quietly grinding up out of absolute nowhere. I mean, Sui is up 45% in a single week. TON is up a staggering 78%. And major players like C, Jupiter, and Arbitrum, they're all posting really solid gains between 24 and 28%. The overall market might feel totally neutral, but these specific sectors are incredibly hot right now. Now let's clarify why this is happening. These aren't just your cousin's random dog-themed meme coin pumps that are going to vanish overnight. No way. These gains are driven by real, solid structural fundamentals. We're looking at infrastructure tokens that are actually benefiting from real on-chain activity. We're seeing actual developer migration to these networks. Builders are building, and users are actively using the protocols. That is hands down the healthiest kind of growth you can ask for in crypto. It proves that despite all the macro chaos going on in the world, the foundational technology is growing and attracting real capital.
Section 3. Navigating the chaos. The ultimate survival tool.
With all of this incredibly volatile data flying around, from global ETF flows to these hidden Layer 1 rallies, how on earth do you actually keep track of it all? Well, I have to admit, while a lot of you were relaxing and enjoying this Mother's Day weekend, I spent practically the entire weekend locked in front of a screen building a massive AI dashboard to solve this exact problem. Let me walk you through this setup. This is the completely customizable Ask Clash For You page. Step 1, you get an overall market briefing tied directly to your specific watch lists and portfolios. Step 2, you can enable macros to track upcoming economic news, like that boss battle CPI data we just discussed, right alongside global ETF inflows and outflows, whether it's Canada, Brazil, wherever. And finally, step 3, it pulls in exactly what is trending on X right now, summarizing the crypto culture and the smartest voices so you don't have to spend hours mindlessly scrolling. It's a total game changer, an all-in-one AI-driven destination to help you just cut through the noise.
Section 4. The Imminent Breakout. Second week of May. So why is tracking all this data absolutely critical this particular week? Well, all the data we've covered today, the paradox of the green heat map, the neutral fear and greed index, those quiet L1 movers, it is all pointing toward one very specific, highly anticipated event. The trend is moving upwards. Despite the CPI fears, despite the geopolitical summits, the crypto market is showing some incredible resilience. We are now officially entering the second week of May, and every single indicator suggests we are at the absolute cusp of a major market move. Guys, this is the make or break week for Bitcoin that we have been waiting for.
And here is the ultimate payoff to our paradox. If we can gracefully clear that CPI hurdle later this week, boom, $84,000. That is the breakout target for Bitcoin sitting right there. It's kind of wild to realize, but when you look at Asian markets loading up, developers migrating to real infrastructure, and all that fear just leaving the market, this target is not just some pipe dream. It is the literal mathematical breakout target we are tracking right now. If we survive the macro threats this week, we are truly not that far away from seeing this become a reality.
Which leaves us with one final incredibly important question to chew on. We are at the cusp of a major move. So, are you ready for the breakout? Do you have your portfolios tracked, your CPI expectations managed, and your eyes locked onto that real infrastructure growth? Because the next few days are shaping up to be absolutely critical for the fate of Bitcoin and the broader market. Keep your focus sharp, use the data to cut through the noise, and let's see how the market reacts. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I will see you next time as we track this crucial week together. Take care, guys.